Hey, what's up, everybody? Y'all can hear a lot of noise in the back. This is my crew behind me. This is my cheerleaders and everything else. But you know how we do it. We'll give it a minute. Let everybody join. For the people that's already on, please hit a shout out and let me know where you at, where you from, and we're gonna get into it. Let me show you my cheerleaders. Coco! Coco! These are my cheerleaders in the back. Come here. This right here. Yeah. This Coco. Oh, wait. Man down. Come here. These are my cheerleaders. Coco here. This is my girl Coco. And then Coco, you gotta get down. We gotta show Otis. Get down. Get down. Otis, up here. Up. Oh shit, man down. Oh God. Alright, Otis. Otis, this her boyfriend. Oh God. So this is what we dealing with. But these are my cheerleaders here. And Haley Dean, how's it going? But yeah, those are my people. Otis, the blind looking dog, that's my neighbor's dog. I just call her my dog's boyfriend. So those are my cheerleaders now. They in the back behind me fighting. So we'll figure that out later. Hey, get out. Go, MC. All right. So now they're gone. What's up, Justin? How's it going, Brownbacher? My guy. But yeah, so those are my cheerleaders right there. They stand at my house now. Well, not staying, but Otis came to visit his girl. And yeah, that's a madness all in itself. So you're going to hear that noise in the back. Give me a second. Let me close the door to try to get them not to come back in. All right. So, yep, we in here. Yeah, so you're going to hear the noise in the back the whole time. They do their own thing, and then I send the boyfriend home because I ain't got time for all that. FYI, for the people out there and PETA and all that, yes, my dog is fixed, so ain't nothing going to happen. We ain't about to bring more of these savages into the world. But just give me a second. I know we 2 minutes past, and I'm just waiting on a couple more people. Let me know where they at, where they from, and we gonna make it happen. Riz Gaming, thanks for subscribing to the channel. We're gonna make that. I appreciate you. All right, so y'all know how it is. This is the weekend financial wrap up. I just talk about things that's going on financially in the news that affect you. I mean, it's a lot of stuff going on in the news, but a lot of it don't affect the everyday American. Hey Adam, how's it going? I don't care about all the stuff that's going on in other countries and things like that. I only care about what affects the middle class and the lower middle class. Besides that, it doesn't matter to me. It don't matter because it doesn't affect you as a whole. Sorry, I had just a screen right there. So in this process of me just going through the news and things that go on, and for people that's been following this channel for a while, they understand that majority, that's what we talk about. We don't talk about the things that, you know, what the rich are doing and how the rich can manipulate this. I mean, we'll translate that to what they're doing so the common person can understand, but that's really what we do. We focus on what happens to the common person. Contrary to popular belief, is more people that's in the middle class and lower middle class than there is in the upper echelons. So that's the main focus on everything that we do in this. Hey Adam, how's it going? But first, before I get into all the news that's on the media, hey Vasson, how's it going? But before I get into all the nuances and things that's going on that you see in the news media that affects you personally, I want to talk about a personal story. just this past, what's today? Wednesday. So it had to be Wednesday because Juneteenth was Thursday. So Wednesday, my son closed on his first property. My son is 23 years old. The first comments, questions that I sent to him was, I said congratulations to him, but also text his wife and I said, hey, congratulations. I'll see you on the next deal. Well, hope, not hope, but it will be a next deal. It's not a question of mine. And for me, that's the hallmark. And parents, I'm talking about the parents out there, y'all understand the stuff that we have to go through, especially when that kid reaches past the, 18 years old, they think they know everything. No matter if it's male, female, if you got a son or a daughter, they think they know everything. And for this moment to come when my son's 23 years old, as a parent, I'm proud. I'm going to keep it 100% honest. I'm proud. And I'm proud because he did it before I did, and he did it way better than I did when I first jumped out there in the real estate market. That is the hallmark of it. I remember the promise that I said to myself, because I was in Iraq at the time when my son was born. I told myself when I was like, okay, this is my son. I promised myself he will have a better life than I had. And trust me, I'm not taking the credit for this. Trust me, Dad, me, I didn't send him $1 to make it happen. He did 100% of the work. Him and his wife did 100% of the work. I take that back. Him, his wife, and his daughter, which is my granddaughter, did 100% of the work. I was just there just to be a sounding board. I just was there to be the person that said, hey, this is what you should look at. He saved the money. He had the conversations. I never had to have a conversation. I never had to sit there and say, hey, I'm this real estate guy and you need to listen to me. I just put tidbits in his ear and he leveraged that. That's it. But the crazy part is, the same thing that my son did is the same thing that I tell people every week on the channel. We didn't go do something special, some nuance. We just did exactly what we talked about on the channel. I'm saying we, but he. I just gave the information. He went and did it. For the people that saying, oh, well, yeah, it's easy for your son to do it because he can call you. If anybody that knows me that's done deals, they know I am readily available, readily accessible, and I am willing to give you my input whenever you need it. Now, if you choose not to use it, that's on you. But he went out and did it all. Him and his family, they saved the money. They came up with the down payment. They negotiate the deal. They talk down the deal. Everything that we talk about on this channel. And I know people sitting there saying, oh, well, we got 6-7% interest rate. So? They saying the news media is saying this is a bad time to buy. So? The thing, it comes down to the numbers. Every situation changes based on the numbers. So he was able to do a deal, manipulate a deal. Of course, he was written before. He bought a property, which he's house hacking, meaning he bought a duplex. He lives on one side, rents out the other side, and he cut his cost of living in half. I don't give a care if the interest rate was 75%. If you cut your cost of living in half, it's a good deal. And I've told my son, this probably be the worst deal he ever do. And he cut his cost of living in half. On the worst deal he ever did. Just imagine that. But the same thing that I talk about every day is the things that we do. And I always tell people, y'all know I listen to myself, right? I'm not here to turn on this camera and say, hey, This is what I would do, and then I cut off the camera and I go do something else. We literally do what we talk about. And my son, and the reason why I salute him, not because he bought a house, that's, it don't matter. Me, I am 100% in this family, we don't celebrate nothing that's already been done before. So what I mean is, my son graduating high school, I say, okay, it's already been done. That's nothing. Him getting a bachelor's degree in college, okay, we're not celebrating that. It's already been happening. And I told my son, this was years ago, I said, we don't celebrate until you get a PhD, if that's what you want to celebrate. But the reason why I'm celebrating him is because he was able to buy a house and cut his cost of living in half at 23 years old, when I was at 25 years old doing the worst deal ever in the century of America. That's why I salute him. That's why I salute him. My daughter, and I always say my daughter, of course, is my son's wife. Hey, Jay, how's it going? My son's wife, she think I'm crazy. I ain't gonna lie, that's what she think. And I understand why. I mean, different situations, how things are done. Majority of America believes the same things that she believed. I'm gonna say ED, meaning hopefully, you know, some things change. But not mad at her, not upset because she think I'm crazy, because I go against the grain of everything everybody else is doing. We had conversations, and I told her, I said, hey, I'm going to make sure that he is what you want. But you got to hold him to a standard also. But I'm going to hold him to a standard also. Not saying that, oh, I'm dead, I can make him do whatever he wants. Just like me, you know, everybody, we've been 19, 20, 21 years old. We make crazy decisions. But I'm not going to sit here as a parent, no matter what decision my son make, and even though I don't agree with him, be like, oh, well, he made that decision, damn him. All right, he made that decision. Will I be upset? Yes. But am I going to lift, shift, and pivot and figure out how to right the ship? Yes. That's it. There is no off switch for me being a parent. There is no off switch for me being a parent. Because I never forgot what I was doing at 19, 20, 21, 22. Hell, I'm in my 40s now, and I'm just telling my mom the stuff that I was doing that she ain't know what I was doing. You know, eventually it's a statute of limitation on parenting, but I'm just telling her now. That's really what it is. But the thing is, when I text her and I said, hey, I'm proud of you, congratulations on the closing, it was everything that we always talked about. Even though I sounded crazy, I wanted her to understand and believe that this is what we was talking about. We not doing, I'm not saying we, I'm talking about us as a family. We not doing what we seen historically. I'm only here to set the foundation, but her and him has to take this way further. That is the whole hallmark of what I've always said. But I just wanted to congratulate them. They cut their cost of living in half. They bought a duplex. They live in one side, rent the other side. The tenant pays for most of it. You know, they pay forever. I mean, they pay for the rest. And then they will add, and then the thing is just because the tenant's paying for the rest, that don't mean that, oh, let's go blow money. They saving to do it again. Saving to do it again. And then we know the iteration. We got the mathematics down. It's, if they do it 4 more times, they'll be financially free before they're 29 years old. Financially free before they're 29 years old. That's the goal. That's the same thing I talk about on this channel. So again, the same things I tell my kids is the same thing I talk about on the channel. The difference is if you're willing to put in the work to make it happen. I'm not taking credit for what my son did because Dad didn't send him $1. If I did, they'll be in the comments, hey, Mark, how's it going? But if I did, they'll be in the comments like, oh, he gave us all the money. He lying or whatever. I didn't give him $1. They changed their mindset they saved, they did what they needed to do to make it happen. That's it. Now, getting off of that because we 15 minutes in. So going on to the next thing, I know some other things on this channel that I talk about. I talk about, hey, even though the news media is saying that it's a bad time to buy real estate, that's a lie. I always talk about, hey, there's ways to maneuver, and then when you see a house for sale, when you see it past 100 days, you can, try to manipulate it, do subject to, you can do seller finance, you can do some creative finance options out there. The truth of the matter is I've been saying that for years now, and people have been saying, oh, what the hell are you talking about? No, that is so much work, so much work. I'm only going to say it 2 times, so people, please write it down. It's a thing called Investor Lift. Investor Lift. Investor Lift is only for creative financing deals. No matter if it's subject to, no matter if it's seller financing, no matter if it's a wrap program or something around it. That's all it's for. I'm not sponsored by them or anything like that. I just found out about them, but I've been looking and scouring the sites all weekend. And there is some creative deals out there that maybe be advantageous for people out there. And again, people don't understand that we're used to the traditional model. Hey, we got to get our credit score up. We got to get our down payment up. And then we got to go to the bank and we got to beg them for money to buy a property. That is not the truth. We always talk about how if you repeat history, if you look at history, you will find the avenue. In the 1980s, when we had hyperinflation, we had the stagflation economy, deals were still getting done. But deals were getting done on the bartering system. They was getting done on subject to, they was getting done on seller finance. We're in a stagflation economy now. Those deals are still getting done via the same avenues. But if you don't study history, then you don't know. That's why this channel is here because I study history, I'm here to present these avenues to you. Now, if you don't do them, that's on you. But I'm doing them. I've done seller finance deals for the past year and a half. Matter of fact, I got a deal. I just had somebody run past a triplex that I'm looking at in some area. I'm not going to divulge that. But I had somebody just drive past the triplex, send me pictures and stuff like that. Even though it's on the MLS, I'm going to maneuver it or try to maneuver it to a subject to or seller financing deal. That's what I do. That's what you can do. This is not a platform to just say, hey, let me tell you about all the fancy financial things out there. I'm telling you only things that I've done and that I do. That's it. All right, so for when I get to this weekly wrap up for what's going on in the news, people go out there and ask your questions of what you want to know the answer to. It don't matter what the question is, as long as it's financial or politics wise and I can convert it to financial, I'll help you. I'll give you my insight on it. That's all I can do on that avenue. So going to the weekly wrap up of what's going on. Everybody know about Israel and Israel, Iran, they're going back and forth. Last week on the live when I was in Michigan, I talked about how it don't affect you in the middle class and lower class unless it's, hitting the oil fields. I guess some things has hit the oil fields. But the truth of the reality is it's been sanctions on Iran and Russia. It shouldn't. I think it's a manipulation of the market that the oil price is going up because something happened in Iran. Just my view. But again, like I said last week when I was in Michigan, that it would take time for those costs to matriculate to the economy where the cost of goods will go up because of what's going on in Israel. Just so we can hit that. For the people that's worried about, hey, we're going to have a ground war and people going to get drafted and all that, that's the same mantra and stuff that went on during 9/11, that went on against the Iraq war, and we was fighting a war on 2 fronts, and we didn't have a draft or anything like that. So please stop scaring your kids that's in these specialized jobs that think that, oh, because you're in a specialized job you're gonna get drafted into some war. And the only reason why I'm saying that is because I was sitting at an airport, I believe it was Tuesday or Monday morning, and a lady was telling me that, yeah, my son he's an RN and they're going to draft him. I was like, is he in the reserve? Is he in the National Guard? He said no, but that's what happened. This is what is actually going on. The media is fear mongering people to believe that stuff is going on. That's not happening. We fought a war on two fronts, Iraq, Afghanistan, and nobody was drafted. Now, just because this Iran crap going on, but again, people don't study history. That's why it goes on. And then please keep asking the questions in the comment section. I promise you I'm going to get back to them. What else? What else we got going on here? Just looking at stuff. Coinbase, that's just a platform that you can buy cryptocurrency on. I think Coinbase is a great platform. I actually use Coinbase to buy my different cryptocurrencies and things like that. But Coinbase, they share price rose. Investors anticipate new U.S. stablecoin rules, and the new rules did come out late Friday to impact those rules. But Coinbase is a good platform. I'm not talking about stock. I'm not talking about anything else. But I just wanted to bring that up. S&P 500. S&P 500. It's posted. It's third straight day of losses. And now, if you listen to the typical media, if you listen to the CNNs, if you listen to the MSNBCs, and the stock market going down for 3 consecutive days, you'll think we down 50%. Truth of the matter is, and I'm looking at the chart right now. Hold on, let me grab the right mouse. I'm looking at the chart right now, and I'm about to pull it up. S&P 500. S&P 500, and I'm just going to correlate this to SPY. SPY is the ETF of S&P 500. The S&P 500 all-time high was 613. 613. Remember that number. That's the all-time high in the history of America of the SPY. 613. Right now, the SPY is at 594. We are nowhere near down. And then if you look at the chart or pull it up on your phone of the chart of the SPY for the last 4 years, you'll see we're still near all-time highs no matter what the fear-mongering is in the media. So for the people who was telling me months ago that, oh, you need to get rid of your 401ks, not telling me, but they was putting it all over on social media and people were sending me posts. You need to get rid of your 401ks. You need to sell now. If you would have listened to those people that don't understand the market, you would have lost money at a large rate. So just wanted to bring that out. And a thing I will hit on before we get off this is different stocks that I'm looking at. But going on to the rest of the news. Tesla inks a deal to be China's largest grid-scale battery power plant. It really doesn't affect us as a common person. The deal will be great for Tesla if you in that market or if you're in that shareholder space. It'll be good for the Tesla shareholders to be a gig factory. But me personally, I don't believe Tesla's model is good for the United States. I'm talking only about autos. I'm not talking about the robo-taxis. I'm not talking about all the other stuff that Tesla does. I'm talking strictly about the Tesla vehicle. And this is the reason why. And I've said this many times on Discord and stuff like that. This is the reason why I don't believe it's the best model. It's because the infrastructure in the United States and people in the United States, they love to drive. They go from Florida to Washington and have no problem with it. The problem is, just like it was 4 years ago when I said it, is the infrastructure to make battery-powered cars travel seamlessly across America like internal combustion engine cars. You pull up to a gas station with just a regular engine and then you there 5-10 minutes, maybe the kids got to go use the bathroom or you need to go grab some snacks, but that's it. But with the EV cars, you got to find, on your road, you got to find a place to charge EV And then if you do the slower model, you're there for hours. And then if you do the faster model, you're paying more than it costs for gas to put in internal combustion engine. This is the same thing I said 4 years ago. The same exact thing. That is the problem. And I believe, and that's why United States has a 100% tariff on Chinese EV. If United States or Tesla would adopt the same model that NIO is a stock, is a company, they have in their EV vehicles, I think it will go smoother. And just the adaptation. I'm not talking about the stock itself. I'm talking about the technology that they have. So what happens with NIO, your battery is close to E, you pull up in a gas station, they just snatch the battery out, 15-minute process, they snatch the battery out, and then they put a new fully charged battery in, and you keep going. Until the United States figure out a way to make EVs cheaper to operate and can drive long term on that technology, then they're screwed. And it's called battery swap technology. So the US got to figure out something else. They got to maybe make the roads EV and then they could charge on as the way they driving, like some of the companies that's out there in the US doing with the bus services. But that's the only way that they can operate that system, and people will gravitate because the technology itself internally into the car, all the bells and whistles that Tesla have, people will adapt to it more if they have that. But the biggest problem is the time it takes to get from point A to point B if you're just doing more than, your normal 20-30 minute trek to work and back. That is the problem altogether with it. So for the Tesla shareholders, I'm a Tesla shareholder myself, so I'm not crapping on it, but I'm of the Tesla shareholder ilk for the robo-taxis and everything else that's going on. Not for the, hey, people just gonna buy Teslas. I think Elon Musk really did a number on himself when he pivoted to the Trump organization, and I said that when he started doing it. I think he did a disservice to himself because most of his followers, most of his buyers was on the other side of the aisle. I believe that Elon Musk cut off his nose in spite of his face. He had personal reasons why he went to the other side of the aisle, but business-wise, most of the people that believed in him, I'm gonna call them tree huggers. I'm not being offensive, but people that's eco-friendly, they gravitated to what he was doing, but most people that's eco-friendly are on the left side of the aisle. That's what happened, but I'm more on Tesla for all the other things that they will do in the future. When I got into Tesla, I was all about the EV side of it and the things that they was doing, but the thing of it was it was a different administration. It was administration that was very EV friendly. And I think that if Elon Musk would have stayed on the left when Trump came about, if Trump got elected without Elon Musk's help, I think Elon Musk and Tesla stock will be doing a whole hell of a lot better. All right. So what else we got here out here? All right, last one before I get to the questions. I've been looking at some stocks, and if people got stock questions, put them in the comment section. I was looking at stocks, and one jumped out on me. Kroger. And the reason why it jumped out on me, because I had conversations years ago, people in Florida. Kroger is more of a Midwestern company, upper Northeast Midwestern company that does grocery. But what I've talked to people locally here in Florida, and they told me a lot of, hey, I've been getting Kroger deliveries. And that has been something that's been unique. And I thought when they first said it, hey, Des, what's up? But when I thought that they first said it, it was, I was like, oh, whatever, it's Kroger. I mean, I was born in the Midwest. I was born in Michigan. So Kroger, I was like, whatever. But then I go and look at their perspectives. They was only operating in like 3 states when I was living there. And then I'm thinking operating in 8 states, but Kroger right now is operating in 35 states and the District of Columbia. They got the delivery service, and I've talked to people literally here in Florida, and we got Publix where everybody think Publix is the next thing closer to a church, and they said it's fresher than Publix, but Publix is expensive. First off, it's fresher than Publix, and then it's on par with the Walmart pricing. To me, that sounds like market share. I mean, they will gain a lot of market share if there's more adaptation to that. And if anybody want to know, the ticker symbol is KR. That's the ticker symbol. And I'm not gonna lie, Kroger, I think on Friday was up 9% because of the earnings. But for me, I will wait for a pullback. If the economy goes into a recession or what have you, I would jump on that. Right now, Kroger has a small dividend, about 1.78%. And I would really look at that if you want to play in the grocery supermarket space, and then something, because of course people are always going to need groceries. So I think that is a play that's really playing out very well. 4P is only 15. I think that's an avenue to play. I think Kroger is knocking out the box. The headquarters in Cincinnati, Ohio, like I said, Midwestern company, but I think they found some avenues, some processes and things in place that is kicking the butt of a lot of these different big box grocers that's out there. All right, with that, let's get to the questions. Hey, Ludine, I'm doing all right today. Just right now, I'm in the middle of doing this YouTube live, but then I got to go back to pick up a foster dog that's at a adoption event. Yeah, my family, they are big dog advocates, big adoption advocates. So dealing with that, and like y'all saw my other 2 savages that was out here earlier. So dealing with that. Justin, thanks for joining there, Justin. How does rising and falling prices, inflation, affect the way people should invest their money? I love that question. Rising and falling prices, investing money. I'm always of the ilk is I don't fall in love with what's in vogue right now. Meaning, I'm not chasing that hot stock that everybody's going to buy in right now. Like Kroger, I even said it. Kroger went up 9% on Friday. I'm not telling nobody to buy Kroger. I said wait till it pull back, and then that's when you get in. The dividend might be like 2% or something like that, and then you're going to get the upside appreciation once everybody figure it out. Inflation is a thing. It's a problem. It's something that happens when the demand goes higher, and I don't believe the demand is there anymore. Like inflation in the COVID era was there because we had $5 trillion get put in the market. We had the PPP loans. We had the enhanced unemployment. We had all the other avenues. We had the stimulus checks, the STEMI checks that was out there. Those things were the things that drove up the price of everything. But now, even if interest rates drop, inflation drop, there's not another $5 trillion to put in the economy to make people go buy. People don't have any money. So for me, on the investment side, it's the same thing during hyperinflation, during sub-hyperinflation. It's the same thing. I look for things that's out of favor, and I try to accumulate as many shares as possible. When they're down, when nobody's paying attention to them, and then when everybody figure it out, that is what I do. As Warren Buffett said, everybody think the stock market is this quick, hey, I'm going to buy here, sell here. But only thing the stock market is money going from the irrational to the rational people. I'm just trying to be the rational people. I'm willing to wait. I'm willing to take the time. I got all day to wait. And that's all it is. What else we got? Hey, Sin, thanks for joining. Hey, Mark, thanks for joining. Zach, do I want to 10x my money? Do I want to take 10x my money? My money will 10x just with compound interest and things like that. If I'm good, inshallah, to live, another 30, 40 years. So my money will 10x anyway. Zach wanted to give me a stock. I don't get it. Waiting. The only draft I will participate in is beer. That's a good one. Williams. Let's see what else we got. Kroger's Mason Williams. Kroger's overvalued and buried in debt. A strong pass right now. And Mason Williams, I agree with you. I did say I will wait for a pullback. Yeah, do they have debt because they tried to acquire other companies? Yeah. That's why I said I will wait on a pullback. The debt to equity ratio right now for Kroger's is 216%. The only reason why it sparked my attention is because people in Florida, which we have, and for the people that live in Florida, we got Piggly Wigglies, we got, Walmart, we got Target, we got Publix. Publix is the biggest brand out there. But now I'm hearing rumblings about Kroger. So that's what brought it onto my mind's eye. The 4P is 15. Debt to equity ratio is high at 216%. But with the pullback, things will make sense on that. You notice I didn't say jump in right now. What else we got? Inflation is irrelevant. Simply buy high quality companies when it's advantageous. No, inflation is not irrelevant. Because the thing is when inflation goes down, then those companies just with the inflation going down, depending on where the interest rates are at, we got inflation at one pot, we got inflation rates. That's why you hear Donald Trump yelling all over the news, talking about Jerome Powell stupid and all that. That's not part of my game. But what I'm saying is, I don't want to be in something that is pushed up by higher demand, and then demand is waning because we don't have money in the economy. That's why I'm always a contrarian. This is just me. You can do whatever you want to. I'm always contrarian. I'm looking for the things that's high quality companies that's been left behind. I get into those, and then when they ride, we weather through the storm. Bar Games 01. Yeah, I can say hi. How's it going? What else we got here? How has the S&P 500 done over the past 20 years? I'm embarrassed to say it. And the only reason why I'm embarrassed to say how it's done over the past 20 years is not because I don't want to say it. It's because I'm more upset that more people haven't been in the market. So let's go S&P 500 over the past 20 years. For the past 20 years, make sure I'm in the right setup here. So it's 2025. The past 20 years will be 2005. So 2005, the S&P 500 in 2005 was at $116 a share. $116 a share. Today, the S&P 500 is at $594 a share. So that is 400% higher than it is now. So no matter if you got in any time between 2005 to 2000 and let's go 23, you're up substantially if you invest in the S&P 500. I always tell people, investing is easy. Investing is easy. The thing is, you have to change your mindset to do it. You have to say, hey, everything that I've known, if I'm 30 years old, from 0 to 30, everything my mom told me, everything my cousins told me, aunts, uncles, grandfather told me, if you're still broke and you listen to what they told you and you're still broke, they lied to you. Hell, I was lied to. And I'm not sitting there saying that, oh, mom and dad, they didn't know what the hell. They knew what they knew. And what they knew was not a damn thing. So now, if you 0 to 30, 0 to 40, 0 to 50, and you still broke, listen to what your parents told you, you have to do something different. Everything that you've known for those last 30, 40, or 50 years is wrong. You got to change your whole dynamic. And I always tell people, the older you get, it's harder to change. That's why I always tell parents, have your kids join, because they haven't been manipulated enough to not be willing to change. That it's a mindset change. It's not a money change. It's not a, hey, I need to make more money. It's a mind shift change of what you do with the money that you have. Like my son, and I'm not gonna sit here, I'm not dad of the year. You will never accuse me of saying that or being that. My son, when he was born, I was in another country. I would see him maybe once, twice a year for 3 or 4 days. For my son to be where he's at today because of my lack of ability, being a young, dumb parent, I'm proud of him. That's the truth. I mean, he had every excuse in the world to be like, hey, yeah, no, dad wasn't there. Because I wasn't. I'm not going to sit here and try to change the narrative because I'm sitting here talking to y'all on this channel. I wasn't there. My goal has always been the same goal, and that's, hey, make sure he's good, and then make sure his family good. But not make sure he's good based off of what I can do. I want him to be able to survive on his own merit. That's all I've ever did. But that's the real nuance of how it works. You have to change your mindset of everything that you learned before. It hasn't worked. That's what I had to do. For 26 years, everything that my parents, grandparents, and everybody told me I tried to do, and I learned all the hustles and the way to circumvent the system. But at the end of the day, I was still broke. And I looked myself in the mirror and I said, oh, this shit ain't working. That's all it was. I got to change everything I do. And yeah, it sucks because all these people that you knew for 30, 40 or so years, well, maybe you can't talk to them no more. Maybe you can't do the things you do with them no more. That's what I had to do to change the situation I'm in. Everybody's not going to go on a ride with you. All right, you went a little bit long on that, but Jay, that was a good question. S&P since 2005, including dividends, 10.26 annually average. That is 100% correct. William Mason, that's it, 10%, 10.2%, including dividends. That is a great one there. William, you learned the stocks at year 8. I salute whoever taught you. I appreciate them because I wish more parents would sit there and talk to kids about stuff that matter instead of all the BS that's out there. I really do. And you're right. People that didn't know didn't read. That was also before social media. Correct? Yep. And I agree with you 100% on that comment that you said that reading is, they used to say reading is fundamental, but reading is where all the information is. I mean, now in this social media age that we're in, all the information is in all the videos that's past 7 minutes long because we have this short attention span that y'all will look on social media and then be like, oh, if it's longer than 7-10 minutes, then I ain't watching it. That's where all the information is. Because everybody's attention span is so short, they don't want to do that. I want to look at the NBA highlights. I want to look at the NFL highlights. I want to look at that. But those people already got their money. Y'all want to sit there and stare at people that already got their money and y'all sitting there broke. Somebody got to make this make sense. But with all that said, if there's no other questions out there, if y'all just wanted to know one of the things that I'm looking at as far as stock-wise, KKR, Kroger was one that I was looking at because I heard a lot of information about it. But again, I want nobody, William, I saw what you said. Nobody taught me. I read, same thing. I just read too. But again, for the people that's out there that don't have those abilities to think that information is in a book, I believe reading is very fundamental. That's how I learned also. William, I believe I'm close to your age or you're older than me, but that's where I got all my information from, reading. But besides Kroger, the only other thing that I'm looking at right now, of course, I have positions. Most of the people that's been following this channel know the position I have. One of the things that I've been building a position on, I call this my vacation fund. It's QQQI. You can write it down if you want to. QQQI, and it is a call writing strategy. It's a call writing strategy ETF, and it's based off the S&P 5. I mean, not excuse me. It's based off the Nasdaq. Right now, it's at the dividend. APR annual dividend is about 14%. I'm not buying it based off that. I'm buying it on a conservative note, like William said in the comments, of about 9%. I'm slowly building that position. When I say slowly, I mean very slowly, because I'm waiting for a big downturn in the market to buy a big position in there. But it's a call writing strategy. Well, it's a option writing strategy where they sell calls and they sell put options, but it's a monthly dividend pair. But I'm gonna call this one my vacation strategy, because I will, when it comes down, I will put a substantial amount of money in there, and the dividends only, because y'all know I believe in having other people pay for everything that I do. I will put my money into QQQI, and then maybe 2, 3, 4, 500,000, and then that will pay for families families later on in the generations, if the funds stay afloat, to pay for the vacations that they have. Somebody else money paying it, my money still stays safe, and maybe we'll get some appreciation with the ETF price. But again, I'm slowly but surely. I'm not going there diving head first in there, but 15% interest rate, 15% dividend rate. I'm just going to average out to about 10%, because I don't believe it can maintain 15%. But I am waiting for a big downturn on QQQI. William, I salute you, because you're always in the comment section. But yeah, I agree with everything that you said out there. What do you think about Pepsi right now? It's really low, 4.3% dividend. Oh, Williams, I love that. I'm about to admit, I'm drinking that right now. I'm drinking cherry Pepsi right now. But Pepsi in general. The reason why I like Pepsi, and I'm not gonna say I like Pepsi over Coke, I like the diversification in the portfolio of what they have as far as packages. And so the sugar beverage, the sodas, people are health conscious, but then, that's on the side of the beverage side, but those same people, they still in the snack side. And that is the play that Pepsi has over Coca-Cola. Now, does Coca-Cola have more brands, packages than any of the beverage companies? Yeah. A lot of people don't know Body Armor is Coca-Cola. Sprite, Fanta, all that stuff is Coca-Cola. But that diversification, and of course, there is more, and I will be 100% true to it, there is more people that attracted to Coca-Cola as far as on the beverage side. But I also like the package side on the PepsiCo side. And so like William was saying, that 4.3% dividend, of course it's down a little bit now, and then it's gonna make its way, but you getting that 4.3% dividend, cash money in hand, just to wait, and then you're gonna get appreciation later when things get figured out. I love PepsiCo. I love PepsiCo as a stock. Coca-Cola as a stock, that's great. You hold it, you get the dividend, you're going to get a little appreciation here and there. I like both of them. PepsiCo, because of the diversification of it, I really like it. That's a good one. That's a good call out there, Will. All right, if there's no other questions, I've been here for 48 minutes. I'm going to give you 12 minutes back. But again, QQI is one that I'm really looking on. And William, I agree as far as the diversification of which one is best. And I think PepsiCo is given the best opportunity, especially where the stock price is sitting at right now. But with all that being said, thanks everybody for joining. And, oh God, I just pulled up the chart. I was talking straight off my memory, William, but yeah, PepsiCo is in a very advantageous position right now. Especially it's overbought on the. I mean, it's oversold on the weekly. It is over. I'm looking at the daily. Yeah, it's oversold and got a TTM squeeze on the daily. So yeah, PepsiCo is in a very prime spot, and it's about. Let me see where it's at from its high. Sorry, it is about one. The high all-time high is 196. The current price is 129. I think that is a very advantageous spot for PepsiCo. Yep. All right. So with all that being said, thanks everybody for joining. I'll see you in the next video. And please come back with all your questions. And hopefully we can do this again next week and we can make some more things happen. With all that being said, thank you for joining. Please look at the videos that I put out during the week. Please like, share, subscribe, and tell everybody about the channel. That's the only way that y'all can help me. Again, it's free. Share, like, subscribe, free. So please do that for me to help me out. I appreciate it. Y'all have a good one.